Even more intrigue with today's top 25 matchups after the selection committee released the current top 16 seeds. This one just went final at Mackey. Wisconsin at Purdue, and the Badgers use a huge second half to knock off Purdue at home. That is something that does not happen often. Here's a final look at it. John Tonje, game high, 32 points for Wisconsin, one of the highest scoring teams in the Big Ten, certainly, and now 20-5. Trey Kaufman-Renn carries the load for Purdue with 30 points. But this is a statement victory here for Wisconsin, which leads the Big Ten in made three-point field goals. Chris Honorado and BJ Taylor in studio, and BJ, 94-84. We knew Wisconsin was different this year offensively, averaging 81 a game, but 94 at Purdue. Yeah. What kind of statement did they make today?
Big time statement for Greg Gard's club. I mean, for them to go down into Purdue and pick up a win like this, where Purdue was looking to bounce back after their loss earlier in the midweek bout against Michigan, this is big time for Greg Gard's club. And we always talk about teams in college basketball needing to play their best basketball this time of year. Well, that's exactly what the Badgers are beginning to do. They are hitting their stride. John Tonje is essentially one of the best players in the Big Ten. He's one of those guys in March. He can win you a game or two on his own back, on his own volition. The guy has a great ability to go off the dribble. He can shoot the ball from deep. He is a guy that is built for March. He is built for the home stretch. John Janicki off the bench, Jack Janicki, 11 points, got 19 bench overall from your bench unit here today. Great job by Wisconsin. And if you're Purdue, it's back to the drawing board, because things are not about to get any easier. Their next game is on the road at Michigan State against Tom Izzo's crew, and we know it's never easy to go down into Spartantown and get yourself a win. So the defense has to be better for Purdue. They gave up 62% from the field today. They gave up 40% from the three-point line on 12 made threes for Wisconsin. They've got to be better on that end of the floor if Purdue wants to redeem last year's loss in the national championship game to UConn. They have the group to do it. Trey Kaufman-Renn, exceptional player. Braden Smith, one of the best floor table setters in the country. Guys, it's elite. But Purdue overall got to be better on the defensive end if they want to be a team that can make some noise in March.
And a potential three-game slide going to Sparty for Purdue. Now, when the top 16 seeds were released a few hours ago, Purdue was on the 2 line, Wisconsin was on the 3 line. Do you think the committee saw enough today to flip those?
Yeah, we're definitely going to see a flip-flop. I mean, considering the fact that now this will be the second straight loss for Purdue, like I said, following up Michigan, coming in today, a home game, you're in your building, you're in your arena, you're supposed to build momentum and get things back on track, and that's just not what the Purdue Boilermakers did today, as well as Iowa State is a group that is now fully healthy. I expect them to move up onto that 2-seed line as well. So the Big Ten is going to be an interesting finish. Right, Michigan and Dusty May coming up from FAU. They sit atop the league right now. They have a 1-game lead over anybody else who's following them between Michigan State, Wisconsin, and Purdue. Right. So they still have a chance to win the league. Michigan is atop the league, but overall, great win for Wisconsin.
I mean, look at this. I mean, these are not Bo Ryan's Badgers.
No, not at all.
94 points scored today, second most in a single game against Purdue in Wisconsin history. We know they lead the Big Ten in made three-point field goals. Does Wisconsin give you more hope of a tournament run because of the way they play offensively?
Yeah, well, I think when you have a guy in the backcourt like a Tonje, and then you have a bench unit that can come in and support that group, right? Max Klesman's another guy that brings a punch for them offensively. Wisconsin has a chance to make noise in March.
Okay, let's go to Mackey Arena here, where our CBS college basketball analyst Bill Raftery was on the call of this one. An impressive win for Wisconsin, Bill. Just a couple of Jersey guys chopping it up over a Big Ten game. Chris Honorado with you. What did you see from Wisconsin today that really impressed you?
Well, you know, offensively obviously jumps out. But before we get to that, they are so sound. They don't give up fast break opportunities. They're in the right spot. They communicate. And then you go to the other end where they've got 3 guys on the perimeter. They're just magnificent. They've got strength. They have the ability to create for themselves and for others. And the speed of the game is so much different than the last couple of years that most of us have watched Wisconsin basketball. They've taken advantage of their talent. Not many post-ups. Crowell didn't get opportunities inside. Winter didn't get opportunities inside. But the spread, the misdirection, the ability to dribble and find guys in the opposite corner, that drift corner, they are a very difficult team to play. They can score now, folks, if you haven't been watching them.
Yeah, and John Tonje carries them today, Bill, with 32 points. BJ Taylor and I were just talking about it in studio here. Because of him on his back, but as a team, the ability to score and maybe what that means for their potential in March. How about the Badgers star?
Well, you don't know where to start with him because he does so many things well. He's got great strength, so he turns the corner. He controls the body of the opponent. He's a giving player in terms of passing. He's got range. His footwork is impeccable on his step back threes, and it's just a real good, solid understanding. He's like a happy guy playing basketball. The rhythm of the game is so conducive to his style that it's led to some terrific wins thus far this year. And again, coming NCAA tournament, I don't know if you want to play this team. They got size and obviously their ability to score in the open floor as well.
Yeah, the way they shoot the 3, no thank you. On the other side of things here, Bill, Purdue loses at home again. We don't see this often, and yet it's the 2nd loss at home this season for Matt Painter's squad. Why?
Well, you know, the old story, the opponent comes in here well prepared and you're a little bit off your game. They controlled, I think, Smith's ability to get in the lane quite a bit. Lawyer didn't get the opportunities we're used to when he relocates. And Kaufman-Wren was just pretty special. But the big thing, I think, for them is to find 3 other people or 2 other people at times, obviously a sub as well, that can contribute some shots and some performance as well. And I think that's what they're going to be searching for.
That's the biggest margin of victory for Wisconsin against Purdue in 10 years or so, I believe we have on that. So an impressive victory for Greg Gard and company. Bill Raftery from the site of that game at Mackey Arena. Thank you, Bill. And again, another look here at those total points scored in a game against Purdue, 2nd most in Wisconsin history. Pretty impressive what they were able to do in a true road game, the most points ever scored against Purdue in this series history. The coverage continues here on CBS Sports HQ. Jerry Palm is up next.